Telcos and stock exchanges, the two might sound unrelated, but technologies like blockchain are bringing them together. Telecoms company Swisscom and Deutsche Börse have teamed up to trade company shares using blockchain. Joining me in the studio is Lukas, Hohl, CEO of Swisscom's blockchain arm. With the latest partnership we're seeing from Deutsche Börse, you've just taken the shares of a company, digitized them, and then traded them. Walk us through in very simple terms how that actually works.
What we've done basically is nothing else than tokenized shares of a startup company or a small or medium enterprise company. We tokenized the share and executed the security transaction. So we not only tokenized shares on one hand, we tokenized the cash on the other hand as well. We've done so with Deutsche Börse.
What makes this any better than trades on a traditional exchange?
At the end of the day, we try to seek efficiencies in terms of executing the transaction, and I think that's one of the goals we try to achieve. And also, as we partnered with more traditional banks, we try to just move forward in terms of adoption of tokenized shares. And one of the reasons why we've chosen more traditional banks is really because they have not yet set up the processes in place to deal with in the digital world. That doesn't mean we're not going to do that with other banks neither. Important to say here is that Signum, they're already live on it. There was an intention to not actually do it with Signum because they are already live. So we really wanted to focus on a more traditional bank. Is
it cheaper to trade tokens rather than shares?
Well, at the end of the day, that will prove, but this is definitely efficiencies and cost reduction. That will be one of the goals of the whole exercise, yeah.
So give us a little more clarity over the latest announcement. How is it really working with Deutsche Börse and Swisscom, and also Swisscom Blockchain in the picture?
In most of the initiatives, Swisscom Blockchain is indirectly contributing to those kind of POCs. It's mainly Swisscom as a group dealing directly with Deutsche Börse.
So are you yourself in talks with Deutsche Börse at the moment?
At the moment, we are not. We are going through our colleagues within Swisscom, but as said before, we are contributing in terms of delivery and execution.
Since you do have your hand in the project, give me your assessment so far of how you rate the progress that we have seen with Deutsche Börse.
I think the progress overall has been it's been amazing. We've reached the milestones we tried to achieve over the last 3 to 4 months. We went live more than 2 months ago. We are on track. I think you can expect more to come soon.
SIX is moving ahead with its own digital exchange. Regarding Swisscom and Deutsche Börse, how does that cooperation stack up against what SIX is offering?
We've chosen a different approach, and I think it's out there in the market for quite a while. We've chosen a more open ecosystem approach, yet open to have discussion with SIX in terms of partnerships and development at this point, yeah.
They have this ambitious goal to also roll out and be operational by 2020. Does that give you added pressure to also step up the efforts and the proof of concepts that you're trying out?
Oh, definitely. I think the competition is what it really makes in order to move fast, and there's a competition out there. At the same time, we're talking about competition. As said before, we're open for partnerships as well, and I'm pretty sure there will be ways of partnering together. But competition definitely will have an impact on the speed, how the whole things develop.
Speaking of partnership, Deutsche Börse in itself is quite a big name to have on board. Are you also planning to look at other big stock exchange operators in the future?
We do currently, but it's been proven that and quite successful so far, actually very successful with reaching all the milestones in terms of the digital asset ecosystem, partnering with Deutsche Börse and Signum. That's been successful, but yes, there is a wider, broader market out there.
So far, you're really just testing the waters. When can we expect to see tokenized shares really on a mass scale?
Well, there's a couple of steps probably to be executed until we really get to this point where we have the mass adoption. But you won't reach the mass adoption if you go piece by piece and execute and show to the market that things are possible and doable, and we've just done so yesterday. Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit, because I want to dig into the very interesting business model that is Swisscom Blockchain. Essentially, you're a subsidiary, majority owned by Swisscom, the telecoms company in itself. You stepped in as CEO this year after the CEO before abruptly left. What has really changed since then?
Quite a lot of things changed so far, and I'm very happy with how the things developed so far. What definitely changed is we are much more focused on what we're actually doing. And you asked me before, what is the business model of Swisscom Blockchain? In its core, we are a professional service provider, so we provide advisory services to our client, and not only advisory services, but also solutions mandated by our clients. So in other words, we are a professional services company in its core, yet we do have that playground of innovation where we're constantly looking out for product ideas and innovation ideas. So talking about products, really talking about software components to be productized and shipped to the market.
I mean, Swisscom has been looking at this technology since starting up the subsidiary since 2017. What is the eventual goal in terms of the focus on blockchain? Is there the plan to have it more integrated into the mothership?
On one hand, yes, more integration, more alignment. This is exactly what happened over the last 6 months. There is way more alignment with the Swisscom group in terms of how we approach the market, how we work together in terms of collaboration, how we deliver to our clients. Going forward, our mission is to be the startup in a broader context of a corporate called Swisscom, with a clear goal and expectation from the Swisscom group to explore new technologies, to explore new fields, and constantly seeking for new business. Yeah.
You speak about alignment. What does Swisscom CEO actually make of blockchain?
We had a lot of strategy talks just recently, the last couple of weeks. You can imagine a lot of strategy discussions going forward in some sort of projection to the next year and what's going to happen the next 3 to 5 years. What I could feel is a strong commitment from the top leadership of Swisscom to really commit and execute in a way that they support us on our mission to find new revenue sources at the end of the day for a Swisscom group. How
much resources is Swisscom really going to be putting into Swisscom Blockchain?
We will be putting more resources in the blockchain topic in general, not only into Swisscom blockchain. At the moment, we are 22 people. Looking for more people, so actively searching on the market, so there is a growth target for next year. I would say moderate, realistic, but we are going to grow in the next year. Swisscom Blockchain is considered the enabler within the Swisscom group. So whenever it gets to blockchain technology, we are the enabling component in the whole picture. So talking about the broader strategy, it's basically threefold. We have an infrastructure layer, which is definitely provided by the Swisscom group itself. Then we have an enabling part, which is Swisscom Blockchain, providing services, advisory, and solutions to our clients. Yet a third component, which is really focusing on application and platforms as we build it up in the digital asset ecosystem space.
When we spoke to former CEO Daniel Haudenschild, in this role he was CEO, he mentioned that Swisscom Blockchain had the ambition to also look abroad and have an outpost in China. Is that still the plan?
Having an outpost in China is not the plan at this point. However, we have a strong focus on our home market, which is Switzerland, and we do have business activities outside of Switzerland, particularly in the Middle East, where we have a lot of activities going on, a lot of very promising opportunities these days. And we are confident that next year, next 2 years, some of those opportunities will definitely lead into new projects for us.
What do those clients currently look like? Are they all from pharma sector, banking sector, if we're talking about the home market here?
Interestingly, those clients are more on the financial services side. They are really trying to work together with Swisscom Blockchain because they know that we do quite advanced stuff in Switzerland. I wouldn't say they try to copy-paste what we're doing in Switzerland, but they want to definitely benefit from what we experience in our home market. Obviously, different regulation, different environment, but this is one of the reasons why they like to partner with us.
Let me bring up some names. You've got Raiffeisen, Swiss Post as some of your clients, so some of these big names in Switzerland. How are these companies really trying to integrate blockchain? Where are you seeing the greatest demand and use cases for the technology?
It's interesting. I think we should differentiate between financial services, where we do have with the digital asset ecosystems, and we have new markets, we have new revenue sources. Whereas a lot of large corporates, in particular on the pharmaceutical side, it's more focusing on inefficient processes and more the cost perspective on the cases. Obviously, everyone tries to find the new revenue source, the new business model. However, we've seen quite a bit of shift in moving towards cost cases, which are pretty prominent these days, in particular on the pharmaceutical side. Yeah.
Just to quickly finish up, you've been in the role fairly new for 6 months now. What is your eventual goal to take Swisscom Blockchain?
Our goal is to have a steady growth to contribute to a broader strategy of Swisscom in terms of blockchain. We'd like to be an integral part of it. We've been so far since the beginning of Swisscom Blockchain. However, I think it's really important that we play that enabler role to really not only enable Swisscom infrastructure business, but really contribute to the platforms we built on top of the infrastructure. Yeah.
Mr. Hohl, a lot of developments to keep an eye on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.